Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Scout Prepper channel. Going to talk a little bit about expanding your capabilities. In this case, we're going to talk medical. And yeah, as you guys know, you've been watching the channel, I'm a police officer, so I'm not a medical professional. But I have, as an Eagle Scout and a police officer, I have some pretty good first aid training. And I've met more than one paramedic, obviously, and even have a buddy that is a full-fledged doctor. He's actually my doctor. But he's also a big hunter and a gun guy, so that works out well. So a little bit of money sometimes can go a long way to expand your capabilities, as we've talked about before. So, example, you have some survival kit with some wire to make a snare. Well, what would a handgun do for you, or a .22 rimfire in the world of hunting, just to gather some food? All right. Same kind of stuff. Just like, or what would a stove do? We talked about that before, versus just trying to cook off a little Esbit. What would a fueled stove do? Well, what would a little surgical kit do? Now again, I'm not a medical professional. I have no surgical experience. What I have here is the U.S. military. It's called the minor surgery kit. Okay? Minor surgery. It says it right there. So, you know, I love the military surplus stuff. This is a brand new kit. It wasn't previously issued. Although they do sell those on eBay, I'm not recommending that, you go that way. You want some pretty new and pretty sterile surgical instruments if at all possible. And of course you'll need to boil this stuff if you really want to sterilize it. I'm leaving them in the wrappers just to maintain a little bit of sanitation until we need it. So, what do you get with the kit? Well, first of all, I bought it on eBay. I have enough knowledge to know that I can use some of it, and I'm going to talk to the doc and learn how to do a little bit more of it just in case of emergency. The situation, of course, in the prepper world is always, what if there is no hospital? What if there is no doctor? In the event of a major catastrophe, which I've even seen as a police officer just in tornadoes in this area, the hospitals get overwhelmed pretty quickly. So if you need a little medical attention, or you got a bad bleeder or something like that, do you die because you can't make it to the hospital? Or do you save yourself? Or do you save your buddy? Or does your buddy save you? Or what have you? Or you're saving your wife and kids. So, surgical kit. I bought it on eBay, and it's from a place called Elite First Aid. I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out on the channel because I thought it was a good kit. It's $26.99 on eBay. I'm not sure what they would sell it for directly, which is Elite One Stayed, so like firstaid.com. You can see that right there. I don't know what they sell it for directly, but it's $26.99 plus $5 shipping, so $31.99 on eBay. A pretty good value for what it is. In the kit, I'll read it off and kind of show you. It's 2 straight hemostats, 1 curved hemostat. Those are those clamping scissors. 1 pair of scissors, 1 tweezer, 1 scalpel, it's a number 3, 2 blades for the scalpel. A holder, a suture set, which is stitches, 1 needle probe, 2 alcohol wipes, 2 BZK wipes, which are just iodine, and 1 pen light. Everything's stainless steel, so pretty neat kit. I like that. You can see here's the hemostats and stuff. See the little lockers on there? Those clamp down, so you have a vein that's bleeding or something that you need to hold on to, keep a piece of something out of the way while you're working on something else. That's what hemostats are for. Normally they clamp a vein or clamp down and hold something out of the way. Here's the scalpel. There's the blades, of course, they're sanitized, sterile, so they're in little foil packages. You leave them in there. Don't put them on your scalpel till you need them if you can help it. Now, if you're in a combat situation where, whatever, go ahead and strap it up. But try to kill infection here is what we're doing. Here's those wipes, here's the pick. And it's a dental type pick. This stuff is all pretty heavy duty. I'm liking it. Here's the holder, which you can shove gauze through and stuff like that and use it to blot or hold down something, hold one of these instruments. The big old tweezers, which are nice, and they're not the super sharps. They are rounded at the tip or kind of blunted off at the tip, but I like them. And a pen light, which seems pretty cool. And it has a clip on it. All right, the sutures over here. So I got to looking at the kit and I thought, okay, great. If I get some bleeding, I already have my little trauma kit in my 511 3.6 med kit, which is on my tack vest as a police officer, and I have another one on my little bitty hunting day pack, the 511 Moab 10 that you guys might have seen. So in there is a cat tourniquet, chest seal, and an Israeli bandage. So that's for pretty bad bleeding. This is a little more surgery. This isn't necessarily immediate trauma. You're going to try to use quick clot, your gauze, your big pads, all that stuff to slow down something, and then somebody with the training, yourself or somebody you're with, going to be able to help you. Maybe with a surgery kit, okay? I added to this though, because you know I never just go out of the box. So, pa-ching. Here we go, also on eBay. And I lost the name of the company, but he's about the only guy doing them pretty cheap. What this is I added some sutures. All right. And what I did is I added 8 sutures for $16.99 free shipping. They're all different sizes and they're all made out of different things. In the suture world, and suture again, common man term, stitches. All right, this is the stuff you sew up a huge wound with. They're chromic gut, silk, PGA, there's a PDO. So they're made out of different materials and you need to look those up. Some of the materials dissolve automatically, so if you have to do something internally, those would be great because you don't have to go back in and take them out, which would ruin and reinfect the wound. If you're doing something externally, let's say a big gash on your arm or leg that's not an artery or what have you, you don't have to use the dissolvers because you can cut that out because you can get to it. So for $16.99, I added on 8 more sutures in multiple sizes, and they come sterilely wrapped, individually wrapped, and it is literally, again, common man terms, think of it as the hook and the fishing line. It's all together already, and you literally just whip stitch and sew it through. Now, if you want to talk to your doctor friend, your paramedic buddies, whatever, learn how to stitch, or your nurse, you know, you got some nurses in the family, or your wife or whatever. You want to learn how to stitch, that's fine. There are way fancy box stitches, cross stitches, all kinds of stuff people can use. But for a Rambo effective combat situation, the old whip stitch, which is just circles, will work great. And that's kind of what these are for. These are field expedient deals. One strange thing on here. I looked it up for about a week because I didn't know if I believed it, but these are actually veterinarian stitches. These are for animals. But when I looked, they're also for people. So it looks like these cost a fortune for people, and the same thing is relatively inexpensive from Oasis, is the company, in veterinarian style. They're both sterile. They're both in the same type of materials. For the thread, they both have the same type of hooks. They both have the different thread options for the different things, chromic gut versus silk versus whatever. So as far as I can tell, and the manufacturer told me the same thing, the veterinary stuff is unregulated and easy to buy over the counter legally. These are also over the counter sales, but generally you're going to find these for medical professionals. So if you are looking for some sutures, you might think about these. Don't let the veterinary things mess with you, scare you, because you're not talking about medical doses. There's no medicine here, nothing like that. It's just fish hook without the barb and some lines so that you can sew yourself up if you want to think about it that way. So pretty interesting. I hope you guys are thinking about, I'll show you the inside of the case real quick. I hope you guys are thinking about, you just stick the different instruments through the little slashes, okay, through the little webbing, and then it all buttons down. A nice little case, right? It's 8x3, looks like it, and it's less than an inch thick, so neat little system. $26.99 plus shipping, not bad. And maybe it'll help in a situation where we can't get to the hospital. Maybe my doctor friend who's with us is going to be helping me out, or my paramedic buddy or nurse wife or what have you, whatever you have. If you don't have anybody around you in your group or in your family that's medically trained that would normally be around you in an emergency, I highly recommend that you go take some paramedic training. Go take a first aid course. The Red Cross offers that stuff all the time. I know our local community college offers first aid courses all the time. Go holler at your scout troop in your town, because scouts know all about it and can show you and would be happy to during their next class. So there are ways for you to get training, and basic first aid just might save your life. Okay, guys, I really appreciate the views and the subscriptions. Keep them coming. Both channels, all 3 channels, I'm sorry, are growing really fast all of a sudden. They've taken off, and that's great. Keep the views and subscriptions coming. As you know, Scout Prepper is part of Scout Tactical, which is Scout Tactical, Scout Prepper, and Scout Hunter. We have 3 channels under the same umbrella to try to diversify a little bit and give guys just what they're looking for so they don't get overwhelmed with the stuff that they don't care about. Not all of my preppers are hunters. Not all of my hunters are tactical guys, and so forth. But I highly encourage you to subscribe to all 3 channels. On the web, we're scouttactical.com. This channel on Facebook is Scout Prepper. And as always, thanks for watching.